Well, I've been doing guest nights and pop-ups around the Cotswolds for the last 3 or 4 years. That was sort of on top of my work as a private chef. Wanted to keep cooking for the public basically, and cooked around my area, local pubs. Cooked in Cirencester at a friend's sushi restaurant, and then I decided to start my own restaurant. But I'd never cooked in Cheltenham, so I didn't know the market, so I decided to do a pop-up in Cheltenham and managed to find a great location right in the centre. It was a cafe, so it had tables, chairs, kitchen, all that kind of stuff that you need. And we ran that for 9 weeks, and over the course of that 9 weeks, I was actually negotiating to take on the cafe and stay in the location. And I did that towards the end, just before Christmas. Got the site. The pop-up proved successful, and I was happy with Cheltenham. Was happy with the location. Happy that this town would be receptive to a new restaurant and to a Japanese restaurant in particular. And in January, we started stripping it all out and refurbishing it, decorating this cocktail bar, which is on the first floor, and refurbishing the ground floor, which is where the kitchen is, making the old kitchen into a Japanese style open kitchen, and just doing other work around that needed to happen with sort of higher volumes of people coming through, so new toilets, a prep kitchen, and reconfiguring the storage and things like downstairs. So that took 2 months, and then we opened in mid-March, and we're now 3 months in. And it's going well. We've got a good team, both in kitchen and front of house. We've got a good menu, and we've got a good base to work from. We're full up pretty much every weekend, and we can now do more as well using the cocktail bar. So yeah, it's encouraging. It's going well. So I chose Japanese food for 2 reasons. One is that I'm half Japanese, and I grew up with Japanese food, eating it, eventually cooking it, and I became a specialist in Japanese food, not only cooking it but also teaching it in cookery schools around the area. So for example, down at Lucknam Park near Bath, Dancing Trousers near Lechlade, and further afield up in Derbyshire, London and other places. And then the other reason was because although there's a huge amount of really talented British chefs in the Cotswolds cooking with some fabulous product, there aren't so many Japanese restaurants. So I thought, well, it makes sense if I do Japanese, it'll be a bit more of a unique selling point for our restaurant, and an easier sell for me because I'm half Japanese. What people can expect when they come here is no sushi, and that was the main thing that I wanted to do. My last pop-up before Cheltenham and Cirencester was a no sushi concept, and I wanted to sell Japanese food to people who don't like sushi. While not alienating the people who do like sushi, myself included. I like sushi, but sushi is not what Japanese people eat all the time. And yet every time I told someone I was going to open a Japanese restaurant, they said, "Oh, sushi." And I said, "No, not sushi." There's other practical reasons for not doing sushi. It tends to be a bit more expensive because fish tends to be expensive. Good quality fish is expensive. It's more expensive because the chefs are more highly qualified and they're harder to get, especially outside London. So I didn't want to find myself in the position of always looking for chefs. It's hard enough as it is across the industry looking for chefs, let alone if you're looking for specialist ones. And what's more, there is so much more to Japanese food outside sushi, and as I say, that's what Japanese people eat 80-90% of the time. So what people can expect is delicious, interesting Japanese food, the kind of food that I grew up with, that Japanese people eat when they go out, when they go to restaurants, or when they go just to the pub and have a very sort of relaxed style of food. But hopefully just with my reinterpretations of them, and reinterpretations not for the sake of it, but simply because of not having full access to the Japanese ingredients that people have in Japan. So I'm using British ingredients. Obviously some ingredients are Japanese and imported. And also to make Japanese food more accessible to British people, especially those who haven't had it before. And the lovely thing is we are getting lots of people in the restaurant that have never had Japanese food, because they see there's no sushi, because they see there's more to it, and there are things that are like other things that they eat. So for example, we do buns, people would have burgers. They're not too dissimilar. In the fillings and the way you eat it. It's not all chopsticks either. So that's the main thing that you should expect. Different Japanese food, different to the traditional Japanese restaurants in the UK, but hopefully closer to what Japanese people actually eat in Japan. Well, I met Franco when I was doing guest nights in the Cotswolds. He was supplying that restaurant, and I was impressed at how well he was able to get hold of some of the Japanese product out of London that obviously a pub in the Cotswolds wouldn't normally be able to get. And when he heard that I was trying to open a restaurant, he gave me his card and we had a little chat. And I've been using him ever since the pop-up, so that's October. And I've been impressed, firstly, because his range is very good. It's not just fruit and veg. He also helps us out with a lot of dry stores. As I say, he also helps us with some specialist stuff. And his prices are very good. His service is very good. And he's also giving us great ideas for new things that we haven't tried yet. Things that wouldn't normally go on a Japanese menu, but with a bit of brain power and creativity, they are like the things that are available in Japan. So for example, padron peppers, they are Spanish, they're a Spanish tapas, they're from Padron, but they're very similar to Japanese shishito peppers. So we cook them in a similar way, but with Japanese ingredients, so a splash of yuzu juice in that case. He came to us with amazing purple sprouting broccoli. One of my favourite dishes as a child was broccoli with sesame flavoured mayonnaise. Very simple, but the Japanese love vegetables as much as they do meat and fish. In fact, they used to be predominantly, if not vegetarian, pescatarian, and they love vegetables because it means to them that the season is changing every time they see something. So as the purple sprouting broccoli season came to an end, Franco started bringing us wonderful asparagus from Evesham. As I say, he's brought us padron peppers, he's brought us golden beetroots, he's brought us all sorts of different stuff that you would never see on a traditional English Japanese restaurant. And here we're able to turn them into very delicious but simple dishes, which do justice to the produce.